This is my stunning homemade mushroom ravioli in a creamy Parmesan sauce. Howdy there, folks. So it is no secret that I spent most of my life struggling with mental health. By later in life I realised that my interests, so music, food, and in my spare time I love to play video games. I realised I use all of these things as a form of escapism, and I believe I do this most with food. Making pasta is the thing that helps me escape the most. When conceiving a dish, or when even following a recipe, going through the process of making pasta is one of the most healing processes you can go through. It gives you something to work towards, and when the dish works out at the very end, it honestly feels like you've put your heart and soul into the dish. Today we are making mushroom ravioli with a creamy Parmesan sauce. So grab your ingredients and let's get cooking. So although I do prefer to make my pasta dough fully by hand, I wanted to take an opportunity to show you how easy it is to make it in a food processor. It makes it a little bit more accessible for people. So you're going to get 200 grams of 00 flour, 2 full eggs, and a pinch of salt. Get that into your food processor, and it's going to seem very dry. But when you bring it together, it comes into an amazing dough. So we're going to wrap that and get that into a fridge for at least 4 hours. We are then going to slice what is quite frankly an arseload of mushrooms. You will see why we're chopping so many in just a moment. But we're going to go through, we're looking for about 500 grams of mushrooms sliced. Now this is going into a food processor, so don't be too concerned about it being perfectly chopped. We're then going to dice a shallot as finely as possible. We're then going to get that into some olive oil on a medium to high heat and cook it out for a few minutes. We're then going to add salt, some thyme leaves, and all our mushrooms then go into the pan, and we're going to let them sweat off. Now mushrooms release their liquid as they're cooking. This is why we're using so many mushrooms, is they reduce down quite a bit. So we're going to get all of our cooked mushrooms, get them into a food processor. We're then going to go with about a cup of Parmesan and a heaped tablespoon of ricotta. We're going to get that blitzed up on high, and we're looking to break it down quite a bit, but I still like a little bit of texture, so it doesn't have to be a puree. We're going to get that into a bowl, set it aside to cool. We're then going to take our pasta dough and we're going to cut that into 4 even pieces. We're then going to flour a surface and flatten the pasta dough out. This helps it get into our pasta roller, and we're going to roll the pasta. Now, most pasta rollers have 5 settings and 5 thicknesses. So you're going to start on the widest setting and work your way down. By the end, you should be left with 4 long sheets of very thin, very silky pasta dough. To one of those sheets, we're going to put a couple of tablespoons of our mushroom mixture spaced out. We're going to cut them out with a cookie cutter, crimp the edges with our fork, cover them in flour, and then get them aside until we're ready to cook them. We're then going to get some shallots into a pan with some garlic, fry that off, and then I like to add about 50 ml of white wine and let that reduce down. So it occurred to me when I was editing this video, accidentally did not record a fairly vital part. And it was all going so well. So once the shallots and garlic are fried off, we're going to add about 250 milliliters of double cream and about 1.5 to 2 cups of grated Parmesan. We're then going to season our sauce and let that reduce down. So then we're going to take our pasta water, make sure it is very well seasoned, and then we're going to get our pasta in there. It should take only about 2 minutes to cook. So we're going to get them in there, and then we're going to take them from the water and put them straight into our sauce. Give it a little bit of a shake around to make sure that all your pasta is covered. We're then going to arrange our ravioli nicely on a plate, cover it with some of our sauce, and put some pea shoots and parsley, and then some homemade herb oil, and a last little bit of Parmesan. And there we go, a fantastic homemade mushroom ravioli in a creamy Parmesan sauce. Thank you very much. I hope you give it a go.
And don't forget to subscribe.